In the heart of the countryside, where silence dominates the fields and time seems to stand still, abandoned houses and farms hide stories that go far beyond crumbling walls and broken windows. These are places that once were filled with life, but now echo only whispers of the past, shadows that refuse to disappear, and mysteries that awaken fear in anyone who dares to cross their thresholds. When night falls, these forgotten spaces transform into stages of horror, where the line between reality and the supernatural blurs. What seems like a quiet ruin during the day becomes, under the cover of darkness, a true nightmare. Imagine walking through a field under a pale moonlight and seeing a lonely farm on the horizon. The windows are dark, the doors half broken, and every step forward intensifies the feeling that you are being watched. It is in these moments that stories emerge, true accounts of people who claim to have seen and heard the impossible. For those who have ventured inside, silence becomes unbearable, and shadows become more alive than the abandoned place itself. One of the most unsettling accounts tells of a group of young explorers who entered an abandoned farmhouse on a dare. First, they only found dust, broken furniture, and forgotten objects. But when they climbed to the second floor, the atmosphere changed. One of them swore he heard footsteps right behind him, even though no one was there. Another claimed to see a figure staring from a cracked window. What should have been a playful adventure turned into a desperate escape, as every noise seemed to chase them into the night. But it's not only explorers seeking thrills who encounter the unexplainable. Locals who live near abandoned farms report strange lights at night, like lanterns moving between empty rooms. Some say they hear crying, others hear whispers calling their names. Farmers who once tried to use this land again often gave up, saying the place carried a weight that no one could endure for long. These aren't just legends. They're stories passed from generation to generation, reinforcing the feeling that some spaces should remain untouched. One of the most terrifying cases involves a caretaker hired to watch over an old property. He believed the job would be simple: guard a ruin, make sure no one entered. But over the weeks, he began to feel that he was not alone. At night, doors slammed on their own, and cold drafts passed through sealed rooms. The caretaker described the sensation of invisible eyes following him, and one night, while making his rounds, he swore he saw someone sitting in the kitchen chair, even though the house had been empty for years. He left the job and never returned. What makes these places so frightening is not just their appearance, but the atmosphere they carry. Abandonment amplifies every sound: the creaking of wood, the whistle of the wind, the rustle of leaves outside. In this silence, our imagination fills the void with presences, voices, and faces. But when several people experience the same thing, when a group hears the same sound, sees the same shadow, the line between imagination and reality becomes dangerously thin. The truth is that abandoned farms are more than ruins. They are archives of memories, pain, and forgotten stories. Perhaps the tragedies that took place there left marks that time could not erase. Or perhaps these spaces simply become a door between our world and something we cannot explain. Whether ghosts of the past or echoes of the unknown, they remind us of how vulnerable we are when surrounded by silence and darkness. As we explore these accounts, we are reminded that fear is not only in monsters or legends. It lies in the ordinary, transformed into extraordinary. A simple house becomes terrifying when abandonment leaves room for mystery. A barn becomes sinister when every shadow suggests movement. What was once familiar becomes strange. What was once safe becomes threatening. That is the true power of these places, turning the everyday into something capable of freezing the soul. So, if one night you pass by an abandoned farm, you feel that cold shiver down your spine, remember these stories. Maybe it's just your mind playing tricks on you. Or maybe the walls really do whisper, and the shadows really do watch. Because in the silence of the countryside, far from the noise of the city, the unknown does not hide, it waits. Now tell me, would you dare to step inside